Whoa, it's dark in here. Hello there. Let's turn on some lights. Hey, turn on some lights. I'm outside. Good morning. This has become a usual thing for me. I head out to work in the morning. I turn on my camera. I do a video real quick. I talk about what's going on with me. So let me tell you what's going on with me. Hopefully you can see me okay. If not, I get it. Yesterday, my lieutenant approached me at 7 a.m. and she's like, hey, bad news, you gotta stay at work. I was like, what you mean I gotta stay? She was like, well, it's your turn. You have to stay over 4 hours because we're short. And I don't know if I took offense to the way she said it, or if I just wasn't looking forward to working a 12-hour shift. Wow, you can't even see me at all. Weird. But I ultimately refused. And she's like, well, you can't refuse because we need you. So she prompted me to call dispatch. Dispatch, I talked to them. They connected me to some dude who I swear his name was made up, Bob Walker. I guess at the end of the day, all names are made up. Somebody looked at that little boy and was like, your name's gonna be Bobby Walker. But anyway, so he was like, yeah, we can keep you. It's like, it's California law. So I looked up the law, and sure enough, in the security and medical fields, they can hold you an additional 4 hours if needed. Like, sure, they gotta pay you, which is fine, but who the fuck wanna work 12-hour shifts when I'm on my feet for most of it, and I barely wanted to come to this bitch in the first place. Alright, 5:35. My train is leaving 15 minutes before the 5:50. So, ultimately about 12, my lieutenant came to me again. I was like, so what do you want to do? It's like, well, I'm not staying. The story I gave is that I had to go get my son from school and that Asia had to work. Was that a lie? Of course. But in my mind, it made sense to me that if I truly had to go pick up my son from school and get my wife to work, I wouldn't agree to a 4-hour shift. I wouldn't agree to stay over. The penalty for not staying over, according to the handbook, is a 5-day suspension with no pay. But see, here's where it gets weird, because in order to get into my building, you have to have a special clearance. It just so happens that I have that clearance. And it just so happens that a lot of people don't. So of all the guards that we have, there are about 50 or 60 of us who have this credential that they're looking for. So if you can't just bring in anybody to fill the slot, I get that. But if you can't cover a shift that's not mine for 4 hours, what makes you think you can cover my shifts for the next 5 days? See, I don't respond well to threats. And I understand it probably wasn't meant to come off like a threat, but it felt threaty to me, you know? I didn't like that. So I held true to my convictions, didn't go. In fact, left a little early. I tend to do that. So, one of a couple of things is going to happen when I get to work. Let's talk about it. One, I'll get there, they'll have me sign something that says, hey, you can't do that. And then I'll be like, okay, and go on to my shift because I don't care. Or I'll get there and she'll be waiting for me and she'll say, we have no choice but to suspend you for 5 days. Morning. Go on home. And I'll say, oh, okay. Honestly, if you want me to take you seriously as a credible source of information, I wasn't going for credible source of information, but if you are an authority figure and you flex your authority, you should have the balls to back that up when the time comes. So I'm looking forward to her saying, you can't be here for 5 days. Or I'm looking forward to that look on her face where she's just like, don't do it again. Like, what's the third option? It just don't come up? Nobody mentioned it to me? Like, that would speak volumes to me about the kind of organization this is, where they will threaten you if you don't accept the overtime with a suspension. It's like, oh, we're going to cut into your money if you don't do it. But then when I show up to work the next day, you don't do it. Like, did I have anywhere to be yesterday? Nope. Other than bed? Nope. But I stuck to my guns on my story because that's important. It was a matter of principle. So, if you want to stick to your narrative, when I show up, there should be a 5-day suspension. Now, in my mind, I've already decided what I want to do with those 5 days, if it comes to that. I also did the math to see where we would be and if we'd be all right, and we will be. So, no complaints there. I want to say that my only regret is getting up and going. Because if you were gonna suspend me, you could have did that shit yesterday. You know, you could have did that while I was already there. But we'll see what happens. We'll actually see. I am not against the idea of overtime. It was just, for me, principle said that I couldn't. Not yesterday, because you threatened me and told me what I had to do. It was important to me that I show you, no, I don't. So do your worst. You need to let me go for a couple of days? Cool. You know, and I'll come back with bells on, and it'll be business as usual. At least that's, in my mindset, that's how it's going to go. So we'll find out in a minute. We will literally find out in like the next 20 minutes or so what the next couple of days of my life are going to look like. Because if I get in here and I grab a schedule for today and my name's not on the schedule, see, what happens is I'm scheduled from 6 to 2, Monday through Friday. When I get to work, there's a sheet that says, hey, from 6 to 8, you should be here. From 8 to 10, this is your post. From 10 to 12, this is your post. It really breaks it down into digestible bites of 4 posts. So I always feel good as I'm ending my 3rd one, moving into my 4th post, like, yep, 2 hours to go. And sometimes if I'm very, very lucky, my last 2-hour post has a chair, so I get to sit and relax. So, I full well expect to show up and not be on that rotation schedule today. And if you want me to take you seriously as a supervisory figure, if you want me to take you seriously as my lieutenant, if you want to make good on that threat, you got to make good on that threat. You got to. Otherwise, I can't take you seriously. Now, I'm not against overtime. I'm happy to work overtime, but I couldn't do it yesterday for principles. So, let's see which one of us got more principles. Let's see which one of us stands up for what we think is right more so. Like, you need me. Don't get me wrong, I need this job. Oh my God, I need this job. Absolutely 100% need this job. But you can't fire me over this. And at this point, waiting for somebody to get approval because you need the special badge to be able to get in this building. Waiting for somebody else to try to get approval for my location could take you weeks. And then you got to train them. So, hey, yeah, good luck with that. I'm not in the least bit concerned. Honestly, I just want to know what's going on with my day. I don't like when things are up in the air. If I get to work and my name is on the rotation shift, then everything's fine. Even if they make me sign something, so what? But if you really wanted to stick to your guns, the minute I walk into the control room this morning, you should be there telling me I gotta go home. You should be there telling me I gotta sign this paperwork. Which I will do. I'll do it. Then I turn my ass around and I'll come right back home. Now get back into bed with my pretty wife, and I'll move forward with my day. So, wow, I got here quick. I've been walking for 11 minutes. I give myself 20 minutes to get here. So, I did good. I'm right on time. Now, let's go see if they let me make donuts.